Are you ready, guys? I'm ready. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to Ecosummit Paris. Yeah, at BPI France, Le Up. It's our first event here in Paris, and I think it's a great location. It's a very famous location. BPI France is playing an important role in the French ecosystem, which I came to learn a lot about during the last weeks when I organized this event. I think you guys have a lot of great founders, really good startup companies, a lot of active and generous investors, and of course a lot of corporates. And I think these three parties coming together are creating a very strong ecosystem. And this is a very important moment in my opening presentation, a big public thank you to our 10 sponsors supporting this event. As already mentioned, there is a BPI France, and we are in Le Up. There is Engie, a very innovative utility from France. There is ID Invest and Aster, two French VCs who have raised very big funds recently. Shell, Eneco, a very innovative Dutch utility. Invent Capital, a really cool corporate VC from Prague, from the Czech Republic, backed by the big utility called ČEZ. And then we have a Swedish energy agency, an important partner in the Scandinavian region. They work with us for many years, and they present a couple of startups from Sweden today here in Paris. We have a Paris Région Entreprise, the local party or organization helping foreign investors do business in Paris. So if you want to open an office, talk to the people of Paris Région Entreprise. And then we have Nesting, Gonzague Desjourny, where we did an incredible sponsor dinner yesterday evening. So if you want to join the sponsor dinner next time, become a sponsor. I want to remind you, Ecosummit is accelerating smart green startups, investors, and corporates. And we are focusing on two very big industries, or actually three big industries. Energy, the energy system, the energy economy is in a big transition, as you know, the energy transition. Mobility, the same is happening in the mobility and transport business. We are going electric, we are sharing our vehicles, and we are working on autonomous vehicles. So I think mobility of the future will be very different. Individual car ownership is going to be a concept of the old past. Internal combustion engine cars are going to be really, really old-fashioned. And even in some cities, you will quite soon, including in Germany, you heard about it, not be able to go in with your old diesel car, which is quite cool. So as in the past, we are recording this event for Ecosummit TV, our really famous YouTube channel. And I talked to a few people yesterday at the sponsor dinner, and I was very happy because they told me that they have been watching a lot of videos already on Ecosummit TV. It's a really important source for market research. It's an important source for deal flow. It's an important source for recruiting. Some people have recruited people, new employees who kind of learned about their future employer, their future startup company by watching Ecosummit TV. And there are a couple of startups who come every year to Ecosummit, and then you can continue following their path on Ecosummit TV and how they changed and what they promised 2 years ago and what promises that they kept and were able to execute in the meantime. So please watch a lot of Ecosummit TV. We are uploading the videos of today within 1 or 2 weeks to the channel. Smart green unicorns made in Europe. Of course, you all know what a unicorn is. It's a $1 billion valuation startup company. And I'm very happy that today we have one French unicorn, obviously made in Europe, going on stage. It will be Nicolas Brusson of BlaBlaCar. I think according to Crunchbase, they had a $1.6 billion valuation already a couple of years ago. I think they raised up to 300 million in total so far. But we have other important companies that are being developed here in France. I don't know which one is the biggest. I think the second biggest is Sigfox. a wireless IoT network. We have it on stage later today, and there are other important companies. And in Germany, the guy in the middle, you probably know him, Christoph Ostermann of Sonnen. And I think we have a proud investor of Sonnen actually free in the room, because we have Invent Capital here, we have Set Ventures and Munich Venture Partners, and they are all participating in this company, and an innovator in energy storage, and they have just started to offer free electric vehicle charging, because one of the guys, he used to work for Tesla for a while, Philipp Schröder, and he's bringing all this mobility innovation back to Sonnen and back to the European thing. And I think they just closed a really big deal in Australia, where they are planning to build a battery factory, actually in Australia, Sonnen. So this is my tip. Sonnen is going to be a unicorn soon. And you see the second guy from the right, Jan-Willem Rombout, co-founder of Restore, and he was on stage. He was identified as a strong startup, and only a couple of weeks later, Centrica, the utility from the UK, acquired Restore for 70 million. This is important, guys. We need exits in the market. You all know it. It's not easy to create good exits, and I think if you work together really well, it will be a little bit more easier. We are going to meet again in March. No, in May. We are in March. This is May, the 8th and 9th of May. I invite you to come and join us again in Berlin at our flagship event, Ecosummit Berlin. We started it in the year 2010, and it's going to take place in a location next to the water, and we will be running this very nice solar e-boat. Again, the Suncat 46. 46 means 46 people fit on it. And we run it during the whole conference. It's really nice. If you experience electric mobility, silent movement on the water, not only on the street, but also on the water. So I'm trying to get my clicker working again. Here it is. We have already been active organizing the conference in Berlin, aggregated 16 sponsors so far. We have a little bit of room for more sponsors. These are the packages. You can spend anything from 3,000 to 24,000 to become a sponsor of Ecosummit. The prices are per event. The final few minutes I take to give you a very quick overview of what we are planning to do next at Ecosummit. We started with the conference business, but we want to execute a few new business models. One is the simple idea of advisory. People call it corporate finance advisory, where we are going to help a few startup companies with their next funding round. The idea is to optimize the next funding round, bring more term sheets on the table, more investors who would like to participate in the company. We also want to start a co-working space in Berlin, and I want to become a seed investor myself by raising a 15 million seed fund. I think if you are raising a funding round, and many of the people in the room who are startup founders are raising quite soon, or even now, their funding round, it's always important that you are developing an ambitious growth strategy, and then you need an ambitious financing strategy in order to enable your growth. Yeah, you want to hire a lot of new people, you want to improve your product, you want to enter new markets, you want to outcompete the competition, and you need a really, really strong team, and this is what investors are looking for. So I think try to develop a good growth and a good fundraising strategy, and then reach out to everybody in the market, the financial VCs, the corporate VCs, maybe some family offices, and if you need a little bit of help doing it, you can call me or send me an email, and we start a discussion. The co-working space in Berlin, it's not yet online because we are still in the fundraising phase of the project, but I simply have the idea to create a similar networking feeling and experience that you enjoy during our events. I want to create it throughout the whole year in one space, in a co-working space. And I think it will be only for smart green companies. It will have the same focus as our conferences. Ecosummit Ventures, a 50 million seed fund that we want to raise. And we want to support the startups post-investment on the 4 success factors that you can see here: people, product, capital, and customers. And the investment strategy is really the simple idea of starting to invest in a company as early as possible. So we want to be among the first investors. We want to enter in a seed round or in a bridge round and then follow on in a Series A, but really help the startup accelerate towards a really good Series A. And as I mentioned before, we know a lot of other investors in the market, so the startup can benefit from us helping them talk to many investors for the follow-on investment rounds. And of course, this fund isn't existing yet, so if you want to become an LP, a limited partner, a fund investor, again, I invite you to talk to me after the event, and we find out if you can invest 100,000 or up to 2 million to become a limited partner in this fund. Without further ado, let's automate sustainability in every industry. It's a big pleasure hosting you today, and I wish you all a really, really productive event. Thank you very much.